Welcome to Because You Need to Know, recorded live at the Cohen Multimedia Studio at Chautauqua Institution. I am Edwin K. Morse, President and Founder of Pioneer Knowledge Services. This series is your digital resource of valuable conversations with nonprofit and knowledge management enthusiasts from across industries and from around the globe. Today's guest is Dr. Moria Levy. She serves as CEO and owner of ROM Knowledgeware, a leading KM solutions firm in Israel. Levy has over 30 years experience, 20 of which has been specifically working in knowledge management. And Levy has published several research articles on the discipline of KM and is the author of several KM-related books. Levy is the chairman of the Israeli Knowledge Management Forum, which unites all KM parties in Israel. Where do you find your biggest challenge in organizations trying to do knowledge management for the first time?
Okay, when we enter organizations on the first stage of knowledge management, we find that some parties within the organization want us, are the ones who are inviting us in, yet others do not exactly understand what we are speaking about. Even though knowledge management is 20 years out there, everyone has a different knowledge about it, starting from zero and continuing to different directions, and not only the same. So that's where we start. But the next problem we encounter is that people do not understand how difficult the change will be. And and organizations do not understand that really when you speak about a marathon and not a sprint, you mean it. And people do not understand that there will be fallbacks and it's not straightforward. And I continue on, but you get the idea. Change management is not that easy. Knowledge management is not yes, no.
So does that rely on the shoulders of the organization's leadership? You brought up a good point where a part of an organization invites you in to help and do some knowledge management application, but not so much maybe the whole enterprise. So how does the whole enterprise get behind it? That would seem to be quite a challenge.
Okay, so here I want to speak about the whole organization because I would slice it, and I would speak about groups and giving them a specific competency, a specific benefit, a specific add-on, something that they benefit from in their day-to-day job. And after they get it, they don't care if it's knowledge management or we call it tomorrow hens laying their eggs, whatever it is, but it helps them.
Right.
So they are our change agents, and if we go group by group and you don't try doing something that's across the board, it's easier spreading the rumor within the organization.
And kind of give it a slow absorption over time, and people start to see value, and people talk and they share, and then it kind of just keeps going outward.
Yes, and you try where you find that there is low-hanging fruit, or in other words, there's organizational pain, and no matter how you resolve it, people will be thankful. So you start from the areas that you believe you have more potential in helping because it was known as a problem, as an organization business problem. And therefore, if knowledge management can help, people will be grateful, and they will spread the word.
So that approach, it sounds like you're focused on the people part of KM. You're addressing the culture. So how big? No. Okay.
No. I'll say it. 20 years ago, when organizations started, they said, let's face the culture problem. Let's convince people that knowledge management is good. But that's not a good approach because it takes too much time. The organization doesn't have the patience and cannot afford waiting for the change. Therefore, you start very, very pragmatically somewhere that there's pain. You give the functionality. Then you only address it as knowledge management, and later on, you only start dripping in culture conversations and other conversations. Always you have to work with people, but you start giving them something that they will feel that is tangible and not knowledge manageable.
So you're coming at it as a triage, the biggest friction points, the heart, like you say, the pain points that would, if you could provide relief for that, then people will say, oh, this is good.
From you, it sounds even better. Yes.
Well, thank you. What is the primary industry that you have experience in?
Okay, so as I run a consultancy group and I have 30 people that are working for me, we're all across the board and in all sectors. I'll say that it was very easy starting with and working with the service sector, because in the service sector you have the service support, the service centers, the call centers, later on the service centers, and there you have people that mediate the knowledge of the organization to the public or to the customers. And there you have a lot of people. So if you can help them and you can make the conversations take less time, less money, more professional, less mistakes, less second level support, it would be wonderful. But you can't stop there. So that's an easy place where you can start. And that's a place where we had a lot of good startings 15 and 20 years ago. But if I look at it today, we are in the public service, and we work with government, and we work with banks, and we work with industry, and we work all across the board in different types of organizations. I will say that even though every organization needs knowledge management solutions and attitudes, the big ones have the budget or can afford it for investing what it takes into.
What do you see as the long term? What do you've been in the business for 20 some years. Where is it going?
First of all, it's going to good places.
Okay.
And I'll speak up 3 things. First of all, if we go on the linear axis that we are in already now, we see that from year to year, knowledge management has more recognition, more doing, more connection to business needs, more places that people know or think they know at least what knowledge management is. So I believe that trend will continue on. I'm going to second level. That was totally linear if we continue what we do. I'm looking at the new trends of the data disruption and the digital transformation and the AI and the machine learning. And people are asking themselves, what will happen to KM when all these buzzwords come in and turn into reality? Will there be place for knowledge development by people if we have all the machines? And what I want to say is we will have more work, not less, because as we see with automation in all kinds of levels already 20 years, and now it's only getting more, larger or more sophisticated, we need, when we come to automation or when we come to AI, we need to create the business rules and set them in the first place before we bring the AI. We have to teach the machines because these machines are learning and people have to teach them. And here again, knowledge management goes in. After we have the automation, we have to complement it with the nonlinear thinking, with the sensing, with the intuition-based decisions. And every time we have another layer of automation, we have a new layer of the personal understanding, the I in the psyche, if we remember the Nonaka model in the Seki, when we implement into, and we have the new intuitions, the new understanding, and the new knowledge. So we're again going to a very good place. I want to go and continue on, and if I speak on 10 years from now, if one can speak so far, and I go to look into the far future, I believe that we will have to have a new way of thinking. We will have to speak about knowledge management democratization. How can we share the knowledge itself between organizations and disciplines? Because if you look now, organizations take the knowledge and say, "Oh, that's my asset. I won't share it with no one else."
Right.
But if you look 3,000 years ago, people ran their households that way, and everyone had their own seeds and their own tomatoes and their own clothing, and everyone did again and again everything again by themselves. And you look now and you say, "Oh, today I don't grow my potatoes. I don't sew my clothes. I buy them. I have a market." I believe that in 20 years from now, we will have a market for knowledge as well. The price of the knowledge will go down dramatically. We will have much more knowledge sharing, and therefore much more we will be based on knowledge, and much more we will compete on knowledge and get to special places that we didn't even think about, or we cannot think about today.
I like the idea that level of commerce would actually would have to exist in a project-based work environment, right? So people would be able to have knowledge that is sellable, know how, know what, know where, whatever those knows are. KM,
exactly.
Right? So that's where they'll attach a value in the transaction. And I think there's probably a fair amount of work out there in any industry that has become pretty much a project-based concept versus the 20-year employee that did 3 different positions, or you know what I mean? It just seems like the whole structure of how work is done has really morphed, and it's been a technological shift, and it's also a paradigm or a concept, a structure shift as what we approach work looks like.
Exactly. But I want to say that the change won't be only on projects. Projects is one area where it's easy to understand that we will have a knowledge commerce. But look at every process in the organization. I see that organizations rebuild and redefine the process again and again, starting even with organizational processes on how to enable people to fly on the expense of the company to some other country, and going to other areas in the industry sector of how do you fix a machine. And in every industry, people and organizations reinvent the wheel of the knowledge. And if we will have knowledge commerce, unlike the eBay commerce, that when I sell you a violin, I have no violin and you have one violin.
Right.
If I sell you knowledge and I do it properly, so I also see that no one takes it for free, I still have my knowledge, so I can resell it again and again, and therefore the prices will go down, the sharing will go up, and we will have a totally different workplace.
Wow.
But that is the far future, and I'm starting to speak about it because I believe that we need it, and if we won't start speaking about it, we will never take activities in order to start doing it. So speaking and awareness is the first step.
Yeah, absolutely. That energy that goes forth to create thought and voice will help to transform what that future is going to look like. And I'm with you. I think there's a lot of validity in what you're saying, and I appreciate your viewpoint.
Thank you.
So we're about wrapped up here on time. And as we close, I'll ask you, how do you or what do you define knowledge management as?
Okay. So first of all, there are dozens of good definitions. I want to give you a definition that is not only true, but I believe that will help people use it. And understand what knowledge management is, and not say, okay, because let's say in the standard they started, in every management standard, it's managing the topic with looking at that aspect much deeper. I would define knowledge management as an interdisciplinary field dealing with knowledge retention, knowledge sharing, knowledge accessibility, and knowledge development. This interdisciplinary field is based on systematic approaches and serving organization objectives. That's the definition. If you look at this definition, you'll find here the why, you'll find here the who, you'll find here the what, and you'll find here the how. And therefore, it's a strategical definition, and I hope that it really helps and really explains.
Well, thank you very much for that. Anytime you can tie in the strategy to an organization's purpose and or intent is always good. And I think that's a key ingredient for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your expertise sharing.
Thank you very much, and continue on with the good work. Good day.
Recorded live at the Cohen Multimedia Studio at Chautauqua Institution. Because You Need to Know is designed to bring people's experience and their knowledge forward to be shared. I'm Edwin K. Morris, and I thank you for joining in to listen to another conversation brought to you as a public service of Pioneer Knowledge Services, a nonprofit tax-exempt organization with a charitable knowledge management purpose. Find us online at pioneer-ks.org and add your voice to the conversation on Facebook.